Good evening, podium chasers. I hope you are all well. Yes, it's me, COMMS by COOBS, back for another instalment of our Pure Sim Gear GT3 Sunday GT3 Championship. I'm very excited to be here this evening. Obviously I wasn't around last week, it was the wife's birthday, and Darren Mark obviously did a sterling job last week, which was amazing, so thank you, Darren. And we're back in today. So sound check is complete, that is all good. So what have we got for you this evening? Round 6 of 8. So things are hotting up nicely at the moment. You can see we've got 18 currently checked in. There will be 2 more joining us, so we should have a full grid of 20, which is always a pleasure to see. And with us being on the PS4 version of the game, this evening you will get to see the show in all its glory. Apart from one thing you've probably noticed that's missing at the moment, my beautiful face is not on the screen. And to be quite honest with you, I've been up since 5 o'clock because I wanted to watch some other motor racing across the other side of the world, and I've had 2 very excited kids today, and I don't look as handsome and picturesque as normal, so it's just the voice for tonight. We'll be back normally on Tuesday with the full screen. So we will of course run through the driver standings for this evening so that you can all get up to speed on who is where. We have a 60-minute race tonight. Normally we have a 2 30-minute sprints, which are split by a short qualifying session. This evening's a special event, so we're going to have a 60-minute race. We'll have a 15-minute qualifying session, a 60-minute race. We've got double points on offer this evening, I do believe, which should, well, it's going to benefit some people and it's not going to benefit others, as you can imagine. And we'll also have a situation where there are 2 mandatory stops. Now, do what you will with those stops, but you have to stop twice. So yeah, that should spice things up a little bit. And also, we don't know what the weather's going to do. Currently looking good, 24 degrees ambient, 30 degrees on track, so no issues there. Have been having a look at free practice for quite a while, and some people seem to be taking to the track nicely. Others are having some issues, shall we say. Let's hope they get those ironed out before we get into qualifying in the race. So whilst we start running through a couple of statistics to get things going, let's jump on board. Well, let's watch Will. Will's just come out of the pit, so let's go on board with him. Let's go in car, so we can have a look at that. A beautiful Ferrari. Obviously we will do a full lap guide, as we do every single time we go live. We'll do that as we get into qualifying. But yeah, let's have a quick look at the check-in to start with, just so we know who is with us this evening and who isn't. So checked in and attending, we've got Yvolton, Hutch, Tro, I Am Slow is in there, Renville, he's going to be racing this evening with us, Lely of course, and then you've got Michael Races, Floppy Fox, good to have him in for the full series, Jester is in, and then Big Time Dave, Traction Dave. They're always together, aren't they, on that list, so I'm always double Daving. And then we've got Cascanova's in, Mariola, sorry, Fresh Brazil, Fresh Jinx, Nathbit's in, and We the Kevin. So 2 absentees for this evening is Neil Woodward, can't be with us unfortunately, and Andy Cray is also not with us tonight. Standing in we have Will Friedman, who we're on with at the moment, and Daz Parker. So if anyone needs some merch, quickly have a chat with him, because he's racing tonight. You'll get his attention. And Will was saying that he's just been playing some kind of aeroplane flying type game for a while, so he's forgotten how to drive. So we'll see if that's true as he comes through the chase. So that's who is with us this evening. How do the standings look? Now, you will remember earlier on in the season, just change that view there so you can actually hear me. We did actually run 2 tiers when the split happened for PS4, PS5. We elected to go with 2 tiers with a positive assumption that those grids would beef themselves out due to the consistent growth within FRL. That hasn't quite happened for one reason and another. People in terms of time commitments with the world getting back to normal now. So we decided to amalgamate both of those tiers so that we have a full grid every Sunday, which is, of course, that's what we want. We want to be racing with everybody. So we still have the splits in terms of what was classed as Tier 1 and Tier 2, and that wasn't done on pace, that was purely done for numbers, so nobody should take umbrage at being in Tier 2, obviously. So let's just run through. So the guys that were in Tier 1, the standings for that is Lely is currently leading that one with 341 points. Michael Races is close behind him, only 7 points behind with 333, and then Floppy Fox on 326, so he's only 15 points off the lead. So we've got, as Will does an interesting manoeuvre there, so those top three are only separated by 15 points. We've then got a gap, quite a large gap, back to Mount Mariola in 4th, who's on 256, Traction Dave 235, Andy Cray's not with us this evening in 6th place on 233, and then Fresh Brizzle is 7th on 231, Renville is 8th on 207, and then we've got I Am Slow on 153 and Fresh Jinx on 73. So that is the Tier 1, if you like. We'll continue on, Will, whilst I'm just looking at these stats. If we have a look at the chaps that are in inverted commas Tier 2, currently leading that class we have We the Kevin on 372. Second place we've got Neil Woodward, who's not with us tonight, so that's going to hurt his championship, being round 6 of 8. He's on 336. Nathbit is 3rd on 322, and then we've got Jester on 306 is 4th, Hutch is 5th on 292, Big Time Dave is 6th on 241, and then we've got Evan IRL on 227. Sure, he is already in with us, which is good. I know he's having a bit of an issue with traffic getting back in time. Tro is 8th on 226, then we've got Uvolton on 217, and last but not least on there we've got Cascanova on 207. So what I do believe they are doing is the points that are scored during these races are obviously going towards those individuals' tallies, and whether that all gets put together or not, I believe a decision has been made on that. I need to find out, if I'm being honest with you. So, quick look in the live chat, see who's with us this evening. Georgie Priest, hey Georgie, he says good luck to everybody. Of course, good luck everyone. Hey Fresh Brizzle, yeah, hello buddy. Just do your thing, mate. Let's get a good result tonight. And Neil says, evening, currently sat in a hotel bar, working away. Well, that is a tough life, mate. You're gonna watch this, aren't you? You're gonna sit there drinking, listening to me watching this. Brilliant. I hope you're gonna charge them by the hour, mate, and then 50-50. So 5 win at the moment. Again, please, if you haven't pressed like, please do press like. It takes half a second to do that, and it really helps the channel, and it helps more exposure to our beloved Formula Racing League. And on that note, if you do want more information, please have a look at the website www.formulaRacingLeague.co.uk. You can obviously get up to speed with all the standings on there, all the different championships, the different nights that we race. Again, please remember we do race across PS4, PS5 and PC, and you can get involved with some events on SimGrid there as well, which is fantastic, so it's great. Yes, you were Alien of the Week last week, and that was quite well deserved, actually. I think that was well deserved, mate. Let's see if you can. Well, you can do the same this week. And he's telling Neil to get it on the big screen. Don't do that. No, actually do that. Have a whip round. I need more t-shirts. Right, so we are in a free practice currently. If you haven't guessed already, I should have said it really, but obviously we are at Bathurst, which is, well, it's quite a difficult track. I think it holds more of a myth, to be honest. I don't think it's any more difficult than any of the other tracks we really race at. I think people just assume because it's quite tight and twisty. Obviously there is a level of jeopardy in there, as we're going to see as we come through the S's now. You know, you've got to be on it. You've got to be absolutely switched on. The walls are pretty close. Any little mistakes you're going to make are going to have detrimental effects to your race, and most probably at the people's races as well. So concentration is key. So if you boys are not caffeined up already, open up an energy drink or go old school and take some Lucozade energy tablets. That's what we used to do. Eat a packet of those and then run around for an hour. But yeah, so you know, it is a challenging track. I think it's a great track to drive. But again, I don't think it's any more challenging than any of the others, to be fair. It's just a case of getting your head around where those limitations are, where the dangers are, and where you can push and where you can't. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure all our guys are looking forward to it, as Will comes across the line. So Will, it's been a pleasure, but I'm getting rid of you, mate, because I've been on you far too long. Right, Lely is currently setting the pace with a 2 minute 3 seconds. 0.021, which is not a bad time at all. Michael's 3/10 behind, and then Wheeler Kevin in his Bentley is almost half a second down on that time. So that is impressive considering you've got Bentley, Lambo, Bentley, Lexus. I would definitely expect those individuals to be quite high up. Now, I was watching Hutch earlier on this evening in this McLaren, and actually we're coming up to the bit now. So, oh, that's the wrong button, obviously. So previously, when I've commentated at Bathurst, Hutch was in the Audi, and at the top of the hill here, he always used to spin out in the Audi. Let's see if he does it now. Not yet. He always used to spin out, but coming down through the S's, and you're going to see it. You did see it, so I was correct before I even said it. Hutch was having a lot of issues in that McLaren down here. So again, whether that's to do with the aero setup he's got on the car, but it looked more like, as you watch those steering inputs, that he was pretty much holding on for dear life and just hoping that she was going to stick. So I mean, practice makes perfect, and hopefully gets that sorted out before the race. Yeah, I totally agree. Michael. Aim not to die. Yeah. You should try it, Neil. I'm sure they'll say it. I'm sure they'll be like, yeah, all right, no problem. They can't have anything interesting on. It's Sunday evening at nearly 10 o'clock. You know, who doesn't want to watch some real racing? So 3 minutes left of free practice. Again, there will be a 15-minute qualifying session. So these guys are just, you know, if you're new to joining us, there's always the servers are always set up with plenty of time, usually the day before or longer, to allow everybody to get their practice in, get to understand what conditions are probably going to be happening during the race, so they can tweak those setups and get it feeling all nice and cozy in there, so they can settle in for a nice hour of gentle driving, meandering around the mountain. I was nearly going to say, I'm glad I didn't. I was just about to say, do you know what? Coming up the hill, she looks alright. And then she didn't. So, and he goes back out again. Right, Hutch, I will come off you, my friend, so you can actually concentrate. Right, let's have a look at I Am Slow. He's done the same thing as well. Good. Let's see what Merrick can do as we go into the S's. So I think you guys are already getting a bit of a flavour that we've got one or two individuals, and it might just be luck or bad luck, you know, who are having some struggles at the moment with the car. Again, it's difficult to set up because you've got so many different things to keep in your mind. You know, we've got like the Conrod Straight, which you're just going to come onto now. I mean, you need to be flat out through there. Yeah, there's a lot of time to be gained or lost through there if your aero isn't set up correctly, but then you need to also think about how the aero balance is going to affect you coming down through the S's or actually going through the climb. So it's a real balancing act as we come up towards the chase. He just put a tyre off there, didn't he? And that just dragged him out slightly. So Lely's still leading the way. He's got a 3/10 cushion still over on Michael. He's in the pits. Wheeler Kevin is in the pits. So the top four certainly haven't changed in terms of their times at the moment. Will, in his Ferrari, has just... well, he's definitely gone better than previously. He's just put it potentially into the second quickest time of free practice, which is a good effort by him. I Am Slow 7th, Nathbet 8th, Fresh Brizzle, our Alien of the Week. If you didn't watch the podcast, have a look at it. Yvolton gave him Alien of the Week, and he did do extremely well last week. See if we can do it again. Renville is currently set the 10th quickest time. Traction 11th. Right, in the Lambo. You know, traction's been on quite a purple patch of late. I don't know if the Lambo is going to be the best car around here. But I mean, he pushed Michael so hard to have the Lambo, he must know something we don't, so... we shall see. So, free practice is currently finished. We are now in the wait time. So last minute adjustments going in, probably trimming that fuel load down. Again, we don't know what fuel consumption these guys are running at the moment. Are they doing quali runs? Are they doing longer race runs? Who knows? I think it would be sensible to certainly do some longer race runs in there. And we do have, so there you go, you got your full grid. We have 20, which we love to see, don't we? I hope everyone's had a good day. I tell you what, my day today has been fantastic. Up at 5, well, bed at 1 because we had people round. Although I was quite, you know, I was quite sensible with the alcohol consumption last night because of today. So up at 5, watched those other cars go round in Australia quite fast. Didn't laugh at all when Max stopped, but anyway, different story. And then after that, I had to wait a couple of hours. So I played with the kids for a little while because, you know, what else you going to do? And then proceeded to watch some excellent football today in Coventry. My team obviously smashed Fulham like we did at our place. That's fine. That was an easy one. And obviously watched the Man City Liverpool game, which was quite entertaining. And then just getting ready for this. So we head into qualifying. It's going to be. Is it going to be the usual suspects? That's the question. Or are we going to have other individuals who have a penchant for this track and can put it together? So we'll stay on with Dave as he goes through his tyre prep and brake warming routine. Again, the thing we're going to love about this, like I nearly didn't go into it then because I'm used to the PS5. Look at that bottom right hand corner. I've got throttle inputs, I've got brake inputs, I've got steering inputs. We can see, look, I can look around. Ah, beautiful. Beautiful, guys and girls. So you can hear the tone of the engine, and you can see in terms of the inputs, obviously Dave's not pushing right now. And if he was pushing right now, he'd probably be a bit foolish, really, because, you know, those tyre temps, brake temps, they're not going to be where they need to be, so you're asking for trouble. So a nice gentle saunter around the track. Now we'll start giving it some welly down the straight. So the current lead, you can see, if you're thinking, well, why is that happening, you can see Dave's just dragging the brake a little bit there. Why is he doing that? Well, that's obviously going to heat the brakes up, and then the temperature from heating the brakes up will dissipate out into the tyres, which will help put them in a nice sticky phase, which is obviously what he needs for the next lap. So I think we need a lap guide shortly. As he backs off, just to make sure that he's going to have enough space. It's very professional from traction at the moment. Right, go. Okay, off he goes. Right, so down at the start, finish straight we go. First corner is House Corner. We're looking for the 50 on the right, on the brakes, down to second, turn her in. You definitely want to be clipping that and then pushing her wide. Obviously he was fighting that there, which is, you know, that's going to happen. This is mountain straight, so totally flat up here. We need to be across onto the left hand side in preparation for quarry, which is quite a tricky right-hander really. If you look to the left at the moment, you'll see a little patch of asphalt just coming up now. On the brakes, down into third, and we need to tuck her in. So Dave's elected for second in that one. Again, use the exit curb there. He's not pushing full throttle at the moment. You've got to be brave through there, down into first. So we're into the cutting at the moment, which is the start of the climb up the mountain. So I'm going to take that curb, drift over to the left. This should be flat. Don't think it will be now. No, it is. That was brave. Brave of Dave. I'm a poet. And then we want to just ease off the throttle there. just a tad, just to keep the car settled, and then we're going to drop it a gear in a sec as we come down towards the S's. Now, the interesting thing with the S's is, obviously we've got to be really careful, we've got to balance, but take as much speed down here as possible. Next time we come round on the lap, you guys can count with me, there is 8 changes of direction during this part of the lap, which is absolutely astonishing as we go into Big Dipper. So hard on the brakes, down into first. You've got 2 entries into there. Dave takes the slightly wider one, and then as we come through Forest Elbow onto the Conrod Straight, we are just flat. Yeah, so now it's time to breathe. It's time to think about, okay, what happened in the first part of that lap there? Is there room for improvement? Did I nail it? What can I do? And obviously we're going to prepare for the chase and this braking point, so we use a little bit of extra road there, took it in tight just before the 100 board, run the brakes down into second, going to trail through there, carry some speed. Someone's had an off, but that's okay, not a problem. As we come down towards the last corner, which is Murray's, into second, and then squeeze on the throttle. So what kind of a lap time is Dave going to put on the board as his sight at? It will be a 2:03.357, so that was probably, I reckon, about 3/10 off what Lely did in free practice. So actually, let's change that view. Okay, we'll change that view to that one, and we'll get back in there. So Lely has improved on what his free practice time was. He's currently sitting provisional pole with a 2:02.811. Traction, as we've just been around on that lap, so thank you, Dave. That is provisionally second. We the Kevin is then provisionally third, a second further back. And then we've got Nafbit, Marek, Renville, Hutch, Daz, Jester, and your Volton have currently put a time in. Fresh Jinx, Fresh Brizzle, Tro and Big Time Dave are still sat in the pits. So I'm going to pick up Floppy Fox and see how he's getting on in the Lexus, as he's coming into Murray's now. So he's 2 tenths down on his previous lap, but let's see if he can put in more of a flyer now as he crosses the start finish line again down towards Hell's Corner. On the brakes, down into second, get turned in nice. Okay, that was a good hook up on the power there. He used all of the exit curve nicely. You can see he did gain some time there, but that's now starting to eke away. So evidently on his quicker lap he's had a better exit from there in the run down towards Quarry. Down into third. Evening Tina, I hope you're well. Yeah, I'm rooting for Pete as well tonight. Let's hope he has a good one. Hope your day has been good. On the right hand side there, you'll see a little cut in the wall. That isn't a braking reference, that is your turning reference. As soon as you see that cut in the barrier there, you've got to throw it left, and you've just got to hope that she sticks. But this is a nice aggressive lap at the moment from Floppy Fox. It was a good climb up the hill there. Yeah, very, very, very slight lift off there. Is he going to lift through here? He does as well, but then he's straight back on the power again as we come towards the S's. Remember, 8 directional changes, let's count them in. 1, here's the second one, 2, 3, 4, keep it balanced. Now the sprint, 5, 6, 7, and there's the 8th one into the Big Dipper. What a classic Australian name that is, the Big Dipper, mate. Through Forest Elbow, obviously I'm not Australian, so ignore that accent, and down on the Conrod Straight. But look at the time he's picked up there. He's 1.6 seconds up on his previous lap. So if he can hold this together nicely, we should have a competitive time out of Floppy Fox. Swing it right, close to that curve as possible. On the brakes, down into second, and straight back on the power again. I like that. I like that transition from him. It's good. Good balance there. Up towards Murray's. So he's 1.6 seconds up still on his previous time now. 1.7, goes a little bit wide there, so doesn't lose much. So he goes provisional second. I've got to say, that was a fine lap. That was a very fine lap. Well done to you, that man, as he pulls over. So Lely's still leading the way. Floppy Fox is currently provisional second, as we've just seen. Traction third. We the Kevin's 1.2 seconds off the pace in fourth. Nathbit is fifth. Renville, that's a good time from him in sixth place there. Let's have a look at I Am Slow, especially as Tina's in watching. So let's have a look at him as he obviously pulls over to stop. He has stage fright. Don't worry about it. There we go. So Marek in the Ferrari. let's see what Marek's up to. He's 2.5 seconds off at the moment, and then we've got Cascanova and Hutch. That makes up your top 10. And he's just banged a time in there. Michael's just put a time in, but he's 4/10 off the pace, so he's provisional third. But more importantly, he's half a second ahead of Traction. Will's just put a time in as well, so he's 3/4 of a second off the pace. So Lely seems to have that Bentley dialed in very, very nicely at the moment here at Bathurst. If you're just joining us, welcome. We are in qualifying. This is round 6 of the Formula Racing League Pure Sim GT3 Sunday Championship at Bathurst. It's a special one tonight, so instead of 2 30-minute races, we're going for a full 60-minute race with 2 mandatory stops, and we're currently in qualifying, evidently, to set the grid. So with Michael putting that time in, that's put Cascanova out of the top 10 currently. Hutch is 12th. Evan IRL is in. Good to see you, mate. In the Bentley, he's currently 13th. Daz Parker's 14th. Your Volton is 16th. Someone else has put a time in there. And then Fresh Briz is in the pits. I think he is going to start from the pit lane by the look of it. So that's got to be one almighty job, Fresh, if you can bring it back from there, dude. But hey, I'm sure there's going to be incidents. I remember last time we were here, Traction Dave and Michael, well, they crashed into each other. There's quite a good little short video actually on Traction's YouTube channel about him doing that crash. You should check that out. It is worth a giggle, certainly is. But yeah, there we go. So just under 5 minutes left to qualify. Let's have a look. Let's go and have a look at Lely. Yeah, seeing as he's leading the way, let's see what he's doing. Let's have a look at some of his inputs. I mean, don't get me wrong, Lenny loves the Bentley. He always drives the Bentley, and that's totally fine. That's the beauty of this type of simulator. You can just get to know one car intimately, or you can, well, you can loan yourself out to others really, and play the field, so to speak. But Lenny's a one-car guy. I'm sure of that. As Traction comes out in front of him, Lenny's on a quick lap. He's slightly up on his quickest time at the moment. As Traction pulls out the way as we go down Mountain Straight towards Quarry. Again, look for the asphalt on the left-hand side. That's your brake and turn point. So brakes down into third. Get her tucked in. That's it. Wait for that. There's a slight little kink in the curve there, which is your acceleration point. Look to the wall on the right. There's your brake. Turn it in. Keep it planted hard on the brakes. Down to first. Turning in tight. Lenny stays in second, utilising the torque on that big old Boatley as he comes out towards the left. Keeps it flat through there. No issues at all. She doesn't look like she's trying to step on him. We're going to have a lift. Yep, slight lift there. You can see that, and you can hear it. Another one coming up. No, he is flat through there. He's got that car dialed in into the S's, so down a gear, keeping it nice and balanced. Just a nice little slalom. Pivotal when you're changing gear down through this section of the track, just to make sure the car is steady and balanced. As he's now in the push down towards the Big Dipper, he takes a slightly wider entry there, which again is fine because there's 2 ways through that one. As we come onto the Conrod Straight, so now he's pretty much pegging with his quickest time at the moment. You're going to see that Delta's just flashing green and red, top left-hand corner. It's showing you how he's doing on this lap compared to his quickest lap as we go into the chase. So through the kink and then hard on the brakes. So you're going to go third or second? No, he does second as well. But then hard on the power. Did cut a little bit there. He's probably lost a tiny bit of time. Yeah, you can see that. Losing a few thousandths. Through Murray's and onto the start-finish straight. So Lenny's not going to improve on that one. It still wasn't a bad time though, was it? So 2 and a bit minutes left of qualifying this evening. Again, welcome everybody. There's no camera on tonight. I did mention earlier on, I've had a rather long day today, a hugely long day today, and not quite looking like the male model I normally do. So I thought I'd give your eyes a rest for this evening, and you can just listen to me waffle on about these awesome drivers. So evidently, I think he's found some grip in those tyres, because he's nearly half a second up on the climb up the mountain. Let's see what he's going to tag the wall there. No, he doesn't. He's had to back out. And Michael's gone for a little, well, a little spin there. That was unfortunate, but you can see the amount of time he's lost. He is still up, but he's just easily lost 3/10, having to do that short, small back off and avoid that. So let's see if he makes any time up through the S's, or if he loses. He's currently making time up. It's nice and tight through there. Gets that one hooked nicely. 2.5 tenths up at the moment. Starting to lose time a little bit. He wants to get on the power as early as possible through there. It's such a long straight. He does get on the power early, but you can see the delta. He's losing time. So on his quickest lap, he must have really nailed it down at the bottom end through the Big Dipper and got on the power really, really early. So through the chase comes Lely. Oh, Marek, wow, look at that. So maybe the track is now optimum, so it's evidently ramping up. Temperatures haven't changed, still 24 ambient and 30 actually on track. But obviously the cars are getting quicker as they're going through there and gaining more confidence. So you've got a couple of Ferraris snapping at the heels of Lely as he comes on to probably, well, yeah, to his last lap. Marek's in the pits, Will's in the pits, so Floppy Fox, he can still challenge for that pole position, currently almost 3/10 down. Let's see what his delta is looking like. He's up, so that's a potential second place at the moment as we go on board with him. So this will be his final go as we are in the wait time. So it's important not to make any mistakes now. Carry some good speed through there, but now he's losing time. As we come up to Murray's, can he get a good exit out of here and try and claw some of that back? Give himself a better start. Okay, don't know what happened there. Evidently some kind of a lag issue. So he doesn't improve from there. Michael's currently fit, so he's pitted. So I would suggest your grid, ladies and gentlemen, for round 6 looks an awful lot like this. On pole position we have Lely. Congratulations, Lely, well done. Marek Mariola, what a fantastic qualifying session from him. He's on second place. Will Friedman, if you remember, is a reserve jumping in tonight. He's currently in third, and he will start alongside Floppy Fox in his Lexus. Looks strong in that car, I've got to say. Michael Races in the Lambo starts 5th alongside We the Kevin in his number 14 Bentley. Then 7th is going to be Fresh Nathbit in the 161 Audi, Traction Dave alongside him in the 77 Lambo, and then I Am Slow, some of your fan clubs in, buddy, is going to start 9th alongside Evan IRL. Renville will start 10th alongside Jester. Those guys are, there's a bit of a gap forming there, so Renville's 1.3 off pole, Jester is 2.4, I would suggest. Cascanova 12th, Hutch in 13th, and then we've got Uvolton in his Lambo's 14th. Daz Parker, oh, that's changed, so Daz Parker's going to start 16th, Tro 17th, Fresh Jinx 18th, Big Time Dave's going to start 19th, and then Fresh Brizzle is going to start last. So there you go. Wow. GT Jamie, yeah, that was an incredible lap from Marek, I've got to say. Honestly, I was surprised. I was totally surprised when I looked at that timing screen. That's no disrespect to you, Marek. I know you are quick in that Ferrari, but I don't normally see you in second place. So whatever you've been doing, practicing, upgrading, watching, studying, it's working. So fair play to you, buddy. And good to see you, Jamie. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you are well. So I hope you guys are ready. We've got 60 minutes, yeah. Not 30, we've got 60 minutes around Bathurst. Obviously it's not the easiest place in the world to overtake. It is the easiest place in the world to gain places, probably even easier to lose places, just by, well, being too close to the, you know, those hard bits on the side, the walls. Yeah, it's quite easy to do that. But I'm looking forward to this one. Double points on offer, remember, that is going to have consequences in a good and a bad way in the championships, so everybody needs to make sure they take advantage if they can. Where's Floppy? No. Will. We'll stay on with Will for now. Hope you boys have got all your fuel strats sorted out. I know it's an hour's race, you're probably going to fuel just to the end, aren't you? You know, make it really boring and then do a quick tyre change. But you do have 2 stops, remember, ladies and gents. They do have to stop twice. There was a bit of confusion about that in the Discord earlier on, but we thought, well, 2 stops. It's going to put a little bit more on the strategy, so why not? Let's see how they deal with it. And there'll be a massive thunderstorm in about 20 minutes, but I didn't tell you that. So as we wait just to actually get onto the grid, just a little reminder, obviously this is the GT3 Sunday Championship. There will be, so if you're watching this and you're not already part of Formula Racing League, I would do more than consider it. I'd get involved. We're growing massively, well over 1,000 members now in the Discord, and again that is split between PS5, PS4 and PC as we actually get onto the grid now. Yeah, we're going to introduce another sort of mixed Monday event that's going to take place, and obviously there's a couple of rounds left of this one, and then the GT3 Sunday will take a little pause. There'll be a mixed Monday event, I believe, coming in, and there is also talk of having a one-make series, which I think would be pretty cool to have everybody in the same car. Obviously, all that needs to be decided, but I still think that would be pretty cool to see that. Then we're going to see who can drive. Obviously, I won't be in it. No, of course not. In other news, international news actually, FRL, the flag of FRL is being flown quite heavily out in Abu Dhabi at the moment. I'm sure you will all remember my good friend Timmy Blunder, teammate of mine, moved out there at the turn of the year. Pleased to report he's settled in nicely. He's just started buying some kit, bought himself a PS5 last week. I think he's buying a PC this week, ordering a DD1, and he's got money to burn now, which is great. So yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to be joining us within the next probably 2 or 3 weeks and get back racing again, and that will allow me to well, mix it up a little bit again as well, because he wouldn't let me race without him. He said it would feel like I was cheating on him. It's a bit weird. But yeah, 1 minute 20 left on this one. So again, you know, what are they doing at the moment? We all know, I say it every single week, on every live stream, but it is a fact, you know, they are just checking everything. You know, do they need to tweak anything? Are they happy with that balance? Do they want to have a look at the aero? Do they want to change the toe now that we're coming up towards the race rather than qualifying? Any sort of suspension changes, making sure the tyre pressures are tweaked, and they're trying to look in their crystal ball to think, okay, which strategy is going to help me the most? Is it going to be low fuel so that the car's quicker so I can pull away? Do we go heavy fuel? I don't know. Do we do a pit stop in lap 1 and then one later in the race so you're out of sync, but then you're going to be in clean air for the entire race? I don't know. That's the beauty of this. We're going to find out. Oh, that's not good, Michael. That is not good. Unlucky, mate. You know what? You're going to make loads of stuff up. Don't you worry about that. You've got some good pace in that car. So I'm rooting for you and everybody else, obviously. Unless you donate more than others. Yeah, that's just the way the world right. So formation lap is getting underway as we see Lely pull off there, followed by Marek and Will. So formation lap, obviously it's a full lap, gives the guys time to get some heat into those tyres, into those brakes, start thinking about how they're going to attack this first lap, you know, ideally where they want to place their vehicle, what's their defence plan, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of that going on in the first, well, probably the first lap or two. Dale's in. Evening, Dale. How was your, what is it, LFM? How was that? How did that go, mate? And, yeah, no, you can't see my face tonight. I have explained. I've had a very, very tough day today, and I'm not looking quite as modelly, if that's really a word that I've just made up and put in the dictionary, copyright, as normal. So I didn't want to scare any of you with my tired looks today. So you just get the voice. And nobody tunes in to see my bloody face, do they? Let's be honest. Everyone probably just puts their hand up at the screen. You're all happy you can see the whole of the screen. I know. Aha. Right, Dow's not racing till Wednesday. In that case, the world of ACC is safe for a couple of days. That's all good. Right, as they're coming round top of the hill. Technical issues at the moment. The wife's coming to get an Easter egg. She didn't want to make a load of noise, but there we go. She did. It's not Easter yet, though, is it? That's like opening your Christmas presents in November. Oh, she's looking. Anyway, back to the important stuff. So down through the S's we go. I'm going to try and let that not put me off. When he's on Will, yeah, you know what? I think Will do. Will. I think he definitely will have a good race, Jamie. If the wife would just take all the things out of the office. Right, as they form up. Good job you guys can't see me on camera because I was just rather abusive towards her. In a loving way, don't report me to the police or anything. But there you go. Right. So, they're all going to form up 2 by 2 shortly. And we can get this one underway. I am excited for this one. I've been looking forward to GT3 Sundays because I've missed the last couple. You know, it's where I started with FRL. A lot of good names in here. A lot of extremely good drivers in here. It's going to be a good one. I just hope it's clean. I'm sure we all do. I look like Hardy. What did... As in Laurel and Hardy? Is that what you're trying to say, Dal? Well, that's a compliment, isn't it? I'll start scratching my head in a minute. That's it, it's nearly go time. It's actually nearly time to talk about the racing. We will talk about that pit lane a bit later as well, because that's its own challenge. I've seen so many people missing their marker coming in there as we come through Murray's. Race is about to go. And they wait. And they wait. Lenny's keen. He wants to get out of there, doesn't he?
Green light. Go,
okay,
go, go.
we're off. Right, let's get on board with Will then into How's Corner. Clean through there, you can see on the radar people are getting a little bit close, but no contact behind at the moment. So I managed to get away nice and clean there. Marrick's had a good start as well, and Lely's doing what Lely needs to do at the moment. But he's going to have a challenge for Marrick, I do believe. With him being that close, it's probably one of the best opportunities that Marrick's going to have to try and put some pressure on Lenny before he settles into that rhythm that you can see. I think we've got somebody who wants to say hello. Michael Races all over the back of Will. It is a great view, isn't it? See them all coming up the mountain from that view. Attractions there as well, Floppy. Okay, good. Naff bits up there. Interesting, boys. Right, we shall get back on. Not that camera view. So down towards the S's for the first time. So the two in front go through the first bit okay. Let's have a look at what's going on behind. No one's dead yet. Michael's just clipped the wall though. I'm sure he just brushed the wall, and that's giving him a lot of trouble because Naffbit's going to be all over the back of him as they come out through there. And Will into the Big Dipper for the first time, gets on that power nice and early. So the two Ferraris are sticking quite nicely with the Bentley as we go onto the Conrod Straight, and behind them those four are still nose to tail, aren't they? So let's come away from that. The computer's already had its issue. Right, let's have a look at Traction. So Traction's in the other Lambo, so he's currently got Weather Kevin in front. He's got a bit of a gap behind him, so he can try and focus. As wow, someone went over the grass there. Who's that? That's Evan IRL. So he'd obviously missed his braking point, maybe didn't adjust for fuel. I did tell you strategy is going to be a big thing. And look at this guy in the pit lane at the end of lap 1. So he wants one of those stops out the way. I think that's quite smart. I think that's quite smart, Kev. I did say that at the start. Get one out of the way, unless you've got some damage. Let everyone else fight amongst themselves and run in some clean air. So let's go a bit further down. So we do know that Hutch was having some issues, shall we say, in that McLaren earlier on today. So he's certainly got company. Fresh Brazil, our alien of the week, who's looking to emulate that for a second week running. And we've actually got the indicators on there. So is he telling him he's going to get out his way? As you can see, he's just pulling up alongside him now as he comes up to quarry. He doesn't fight him at all. No fighting there, just obviously had the inside line, and rather than risk anything at this early stage of the race, he let him go. But now Daz Parker's coming at him, and then behind Daz Parker we've got Big Time Dave, and obviously Weather Kevin's done a pit stop. Someone else in the pits, as Hutch has a little brush with the wall, which has caused Daz to go offline, and that's brought Big Time Dave all over the back of him as well. So that one little mistake there from Hutch has had further reaching connotations there for the other two. So that's part and parcel of what happens here at Bathurst. And who's out there? Oh, Fresh Brizzle. Wow, that was lucky. Wow, Fresh had an issue at the top of the hill there and came spearing back across the track. But thankfully, Hutch, with his cat-like reflexes, managed to well survive that one, and then go through the issue of the S's, which I think is probably his favourite part of the track at the moment. So up top, Lenny's currently leading from Marek, still in second place. Marek is 3/4 of a second behind, which is quite ominous really. And then Will Friedman, our reserve for this evening in the Ferrari, he's a further 7.5 tenths behind. Michael racing the Lambo, he's 4 tenths behind Will, and then Nathby is having a great race at the moment. He's currently 5th, 1.4 seconds down. Traction, oh no, so Will's had an issue there. Will's had a spin. We've certainly gone off track because he's dropped himself from 3rd all the way down to 11th, and he's going to say, nah, I'm pitting now. I am slow. He elects to pit along with Floppy Fox. So, you know, even if you're forced to pit, I don't think it's a bad time to be pitting at this stage. Yes, I called him a cat, Dal. I didn't call him anything else. I know what you're thinking of, because that's probably all you think of, to be fair. But yes, no, I was just saying that he's got great reflexes, you know. That's it. If you could only see my face. Right, so Floppy's in the pits. Who else? So Will's in the pits, we know that. And Brizzle has also come in to get his first stop out of the way. Tro's done his pit stop. Weather Kevin's done his as well. So that's gonna play out. I think that's going to be quite interesting how that plays out, to be fair. So we'd got to Nathbit, who was 5th, he's now up to 4th. Traction is in 5th in his Lambo, 1.4 seconds down. Then Evan IRO, we did see have a little off shortly, a little while ago. He's 1.8 seconds behind Traction in 6th. Renville's having a good run at the moment. He's in 7th place. He's also 1.5 seconds down. And then we've got Jester in 8th in the number 3 Bentley, who's nearly 4.5 seconds back. So there's clearly a gap in the field there. Caskanova's 9th, he's only half second behind. So we'll go on with him, because that is the closest one we've got on track at the moment. Uvolton is in 10th. In the Lambo, you can see 2.5 seconds behind. Then we've got Fresh Jinx 11th, Hutch in 12th, Big Time Dave is 13th, and we saw those boys all getting nice and close together. Weather Kevin is 14th, has pitted. I Am Slow's 15th, has pitted. Daz Parker's 16th, hasn't pitted, so must have had an issue there, as we see a challenge coming from Cascanova potentially on Jester. Let's go on board with Jester. We need to see this happening as we come in to Hal's Corner. Let's see how these two Bentley boys do battle with each other. up towards Quarry, on the brakes, down to third. He was in sixth there, wow. Okay. She looked a little bit loose up there, but he's going quicker than before. Slight nudge against the wall potentially there. Also understeer, and that's brought Cascanova right into play. He's only 2 tenths behind at the moment. You can see squirming all over the bank. Probably a bit of dirty air. Probably pushing too hard as well. Although you boys have all your Fanatec DD setups, there should be no mistakes. Obviously there will be as we come down towards the S's. Let's see if he closes up or if he manages to increase that gap. He is closing up at that particular part of the S's, so I definitely think Jester can take some more speed through there as we come through the latter part into the Big Dipper, into first. No, he stays in second, and then Cascanova closes up as you would expect through braking, through Forest Elbow down onto the Conrod straight. So nice straight run here. Is he going to get a slipstream? And if he does, how powerful is that going to be? So we could have a move as we're coming into the chase. He could follow him through there. He could try and, well, he could obviously try and put him off a little bit, try and make him go deep, and then look to make a move into Murray's, which is the last left-hander before the start-finish straight. He does go a little bit deep there. You see Cascanova certainly brought more speed into the entry of that corner, but at that point Jester had already got the car settled and was back on the accelerator as we go into Murray's. Nice and close this. So another lap complete. I think we need to stay on this one for a little while. Hugh Volton's going to get a nosebleed. It's only in 10th, Neil. He's only in 10th, mate. Normally what Chris does, we don't what Chris does. He's probably fueled to the end and he's going to run as late as possible so he's in first place. He'll pit and then he'll probably pit again on the next lap. You know he comes out with these weird and wonderful strategies, does our Chris. So these boys are fighting over 8th and 9th place as they come through the cutting at the beginning of the climb. Oh, I believe that if that wasn't a touch, it was definitely a manoeuvre to evade one. You can hear the cars dragging. So nice little battle going on here. Let's just see if there's any change. So Lenny's still up top. Michael is now second. Nafbit is third. Who's that? Is that Traction that's gone off there? No, I'm not sure. We need to have a look and see what the number is on that car. We'll find out. Anyway, Big Time Dave, he pits from 15th. Tro's got both his pit stops out the way. You can see, if you're not used to watching this, you can see that there's like a gold number next to their actual driver numbers. Most say 2, some say 1, and then at the bottom Tro is green. So the 2 obviously that stipulates they have to do 2 mandatory stops. When they've completed one of those stops, they will then have a number 1 because they've got 1 left, and when they have done both, it will go green. So Tro, he's now free to crack on until the end of the race. Now, either that's a good move, or has his new set of tyres got 50 odd minutes in them? I don't know. Obviously, as the fuel burns down, the car's going to get lighter, so it's going to get a bit easier on the tyres, but is it going to last 50 minutes? Who knows? As Daz Parker, he comes in to do his pit stop as well. So Lely's doing a grand job up front, 3.3 seconds clear of Michael in his Lambo. Nafbit's got to be pretty happy with third place at the moment. Again, I know there's been some pit stops going on, but he is in third place currently. Marek is in 4th, so he's dropped a couple of spots. And then we've got Evan in 5th place at the moment. Renville's currently in 6th, so he's gone up 1. Jester, I've been watching his fight with Cascanova is 7th. It was Traction Dave, he's currently in 8th, and he's now got Cascanova all over the back of him. But we need to jump on with this one because We The Kevin is probably just making that move stick. Yeah, he's just made the move on that McLaren, so it looks like he's just managed to get fresh jinx out of the way, and he's now on the hunt for a little piece of hutch. So Dale's making a very good comment in the live chat, just talking about what happened with Chris last night in their race. I think what he's trying to say is Chris did really well, and you all enjoyed watching what he was doing. I think that's kind of the message we're getting there. If you want to know what that message is, obviously you have to watch the stream and look at the live chat, but it's usually very entertaining. Our guys usually get involved in their own conversations and don't actually listen to me. They just use it as a social platform to have a natter about, well, all things FRL, which is fine. I love it, no problem. 10 of you watching so far, I really appreciate that. I've only got 5 likes though, ladies and gents. You know what to do, press that like button, please, don't forget. It's really important to me. If you're, well, you know, if you're sane enough, or if you're mad enough to listen to me for a couple of hours talk about these boys, then you might as well take half a second to press the like button. So Kevin at Bentley's definitely got some good pace there. We know Hutch has been struggling, so there was a second difference on that lap time, so I can't see that staying as is. Well, let's have a little watching brief, as he goes pretty wide there through Hull Corner. He's just carrying a little bit too much speed through there. You see he's obviously lost some time now down Mountain Straight, but I am expecting the Bentley to make up quite a bit in the climb and down the S's, because that McLaren, she did not look happy coming down through the S's when we were watching her earlier on today. And this is Kevin's quickest time at the moment. He's currently up. Just got to stay patient, just apply the pressure. So it looks like Hutch is fighting that car a little bit. Yellow flags are waving. Let's keep our eyes out. We don't want Will. So Hutch is on the brakes there. So we've got 2 off. We've got 3 off. Wow. I will go back and have a look at that at the moment. That was definitely a Lambo involved there. So you can see it's Traction Dave, Jester and Jinx by the look of it. I wonder what happened there as we go down the S's. Come on boys, have a fight and stop me thinking about the other things. Beautiful lads, thank you very much. Case in point. Right, Hutch is indicating again he wants to get out of the way. Hutch doesn't want to fight anyone tonight, so maybe I mean Pony Feeder on Tuesday for Taco Tuesdays, and I know he had some new equipment. King of the Hills was also trying, I think he was trying to break in some new brakes really, new pedals. So maybe that's the exercise for Hutch this evening. Maybe he just wants to keep out of everyone's way as we've had someone else go off there. Which, I mean, if that is the case, that's all good. It's all about being involved, isn't it? So, Levy's still leading. Michael's now only 8 tenths behind him. Remember, he was 3.3 seconds, so we will check that gap in a minute. Nafbit is still 3rd. Marrick's 4th. He's only 6 tenths behind. And then we've got Evan, who's holding a steady 5th place at the moment. Remble is 6th, under a second behind Evan. Then we've got Cascanova, who's 16 seconds down the road. Yvolton's currently up to 8th. Maybe we are getting into nosebleed territory. Maybe, maybe not. We the Kevin, who we are currently watching at the moment, is number 14. Bentley is 9th, and then Hutch is rounding out the top 10 in his rather squirrely McLaren. Fresh Jinx is 11th, and then I Am Slow is 12th. He's a lap down, but he has completed his stop, as has We the Kevin has done 1 stop. And then we've got Floppy Fox is 13th. He's double stopped, so he's just done 2 laps. He's got his stops out the way. Jester is still going. Oh, sorry, Jester's in the pits. Traction is also in the pits. Those two came together. Brizzle is still going. Not sure what the timing's doing on that, but he is still going. You can see him there. Big Time Dave, he's currently 17th place. Has completed both pit stops. Will Friedman is currently in the pits, so it's saying he has completed both. We'll keep an eye when he comes out. Daz Parker's completed both, and currently at the back we've got Tro. He's completed both, but is not going anywhere by the look of it. Nor is Will. Let's go on board. See if we can figure out if that is a... Well, he's in 1st gear. Interesting, as the leaders come through. So let's get on board with Michael. Let's have a little look. Let's see what it looks like. Let's imagine what it feels like. Yeah. to be inside Michael, not literally. But let's imagine what it feels like to be in second place, hunting Lenny down in the Lambo, and you don't really like the Lambo, but your best mate says we've got to drive the Lambo, so you're just going with it, and you're putting in loads of practice because you don't want to lose to your mate, and then you've got a chap in front of you who only drives that car and knows it inside out. So, I mean, I'm sure Michael likes a challenge, and he is closing that gap down. So let's see. Tyres are obviously beginning to be an issue, potentially for Lenny. I don't think it's going to be a concentration issue. We've got someone else off the track there in a Ferrari. Daz Parker that was. So I said at the top of the show, concentration is going to be really, really important this evening as we go into the S's. Again, there's 8 directional changes through this little complex, and you know, little down changes, balancing that throttle, a little bit of braking input, and then a sprint without clipping the wall into the Big Dipper, hard on the brakes, turn it left, get on the power nice and early, because you've got Forest Elbow and then the Conrod straight, so you're not going to be wanting to lose any time. I am being nice. I'm being nice. I'm always nice to everybody within FRL apart from you. And the point is that I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So I think I'm on the right track. And as I say, I think he's doing the right thing. He's using the race for experience with that new equipment and keeping out of everyone's way, which is a great advert for FRL, isn't it? In terms of how people approach the races. You know, not like these two at the front. I mean, we don't have to win every race, do we? No. Good battle between these two, though. As you can see, Lenny pulls across to the right. He's trying to break that toe. So we'll keep an eye on them. It's for now only 4/10. Nafbit is still in third. He's having a good race, is Nafbit. As is Marek, although he'll probably be a little bit disappointed to find himself fourth. Remember, he qualified second and was going great guns at the start, actually. Renville's fifth. Evan, he's coming to do one of his stops, although he was really, really close then. As that gap comes down again, you can see the gaps coming down as they climb up the mountain. And Kev is in 7th place currently, 1 stop completed. Hutch in 8th, he's in the pits for one of his stops, as is Cascanova. So those two are probably going to be little racing buddies tonight, and Fresh Jinx makes up the top 10 as your leaders go through the S's once again. It's just it's crazy. The elevation change is the way it really affects the car. Oh dear. Dale's offering me out on a date by the sound of that. Cheers, buddy. Right, your Volton. What are you doing there? You're 11th, Chris. You were 8th. I know you've done a pit stop. So your Volton is 11th in the Lambo. Why is he not in his Porsche? That's what I want to know. Floppy Fox is in 12th. Has completed both actually. Floppy Fox is in 11th. So he's obviously just made a move on Chris there. Yeah, you can see that has happened. Let's have a look at your Volton. Let's go on board with him. Give him a little bit of airtime. Nothing behind. Okay, look, I'm just doing this because I can't do it on the PS5. It's brilliant. So we are a third of the way into the race. Now remember, if you usually watched our absolutely amazing GT3 Sunday Championship, you will be aware it is normally 2 30-minute sprints. This is a special event this evening, so it's a straight 1 hour race with 2 pit stops, just to add a little bit of difference in there in terms of strategy, how people are going to use their tyres and fuel and all those bits. So we're 1/3 into that at the moment. I'd say it's going pretty well for Lely. I'd say Michael will also be happy with that. And Chris won't be unhappy. You won't be unhappy as we go into the S's. Don't die. With 11th place in that Lambo. She is a handful. And Chris seems to like a challenge in his cars. He does indeed. But yeah, no, he's getting No dramas through there. I'm going to come off you now, Chris, so I don't give you the curse, my friend. Cascanova is in 12th place. He's nigh on 30 seconds down the road. And then Fresh Brizzle, he's currently in the pit, so I'm assuming he's getting his second stop out of the way in 13th. Big Time Dave is in 14th. There he is. And look at that. I mean, she's colourful, to say the least. She's very colourful. I like that. A little bit of Gamer Dad going on there. Hope Gamer Dad is well. I do like that. I like it. I like Star Big Time Dave. Right, Fresh Brizzle, he's 14th. He's completed both of his stops now in the 998 Bentley. And then Will, as our reserve, Will was in 3rd place, remember. We didn't catch if it was a full spin or if he just went off as we were coming up towards the chase. And then obviously elected to get one of the pit stops done. And then I think he's probably listened to me and thought, wow, I might as well do both. And can have just a clear run. And, normally Will's extremely consistent. So we'll see what he can do towards the end of this race. Daz is in 16th place in his Ferrari. We've seen him off track a couple of times, but he does have both his stops out the way. So hopefully he doesn't carry any damage and can now just start ploughing in those lap times. Jester is 17th, still to complete both those stops in the Bentley. So from that position, Jester, get in the pits. Try something different. And Traction, I think, obviously got caught up in that issue. Michael's pitted from 2nd place. Nathbit has currently pitted from 4th place as well. So we'll go back up and see those in a moment. I Am Slow is currently running 19th in the 109 Bentley, but he has completed both pit stops. Come on, I Am Slow. And if you don't know, he uses a controller, which is why I call him the controller. But yeah, I'm sure he's going to reel some places back in. And then Tro, I think Tro's out of there. He's been in the pits. He's completed both stops, but he is in the pits and has been for 6 laps. So, Paul, let me know what happened, mate. Let me know what happened, but without swearing or anything like that, please. Be good to know. So, Lenny's still running out up top as we approach. Well, we're not quite half distance yet, but we're not far off it. So the tyres on that Bentley are obviously working quite well. Floppy Fox is currently leading in terms of people that have completed both stops. So where's Michael? He came out in 5th place with 1 stop done now. Will he double stop, or is he going to do a third strategy? It looks like he's coming up behind Daz Parker there, who goes off the top of the hill and then just keeps out the way. That was the right move. It's, coming into a complex like the S's and seeing a Ferrari being all squirrely on the outside going through the grass and the gravel, I mean, that can be enough just to take your eye off the ball for a second. You don't want to be missing any turning, braking, coasting, balancing points through that part of this track, because that will have death written all over it essentially. So he did well to keep one eye, and one eye on Daz and one on the track. So all part and parcel of being an awesome sim racer, which we all do. So Lenny's still out top. Marek's second, still 6-second gap. So in terms of close battles, I have to say, at the moment, I didn't think it was going to be like this, and we don't have any. Don't have any really close battles, which isn't a bad thing because we've got a lot of people on different strategies. So they're probably all going to end up coming together towards the end of the race, which I certainly hope so. Alright, thanks for letting me know, Dal. Thank you very much. So Floppy Fox making a move there on Hutch. Again, I think that was again more gentlemanly conduct from our Hutch. And he's, well, I don't know, is he going to... Hutch, if you're watching, when you have your pit stop, you have to pop a little message over. Was you happy with your result earlier today or not? Oh, and he's coming in the pits. You can let me know now. He did hit his brake marker correctly there. Well done. I've seen a lot of people That's his own little course in itself though, isn't it, really? Let's be honest. Right, so he's coming in to get that stop out of the way, so we don't need to look at that. So Floppy's making his way up through the field quite nicely. 33 minutes left to go of this 60-minute sprint here at Bathurst for the FRL Pure Sim Gear, I should say, GT3 Sunday Championship. And it's been quite eventful at the moment. Marek, I've got to say, he stunned everyone by being second place in qualifying, and has been running a very good race so far. Currently in third place, but Lely, Renville and Marek neither have pitted currently. We'll just need... How's Traction getting on? So he's coming through the S's now. Obviously he got caught up in that issue. Yeah, and Jester as well. So I am slow in the 109 Bentley, so he's putting a move on Fresh Jinx there. Not for position, but hey, it's a good move to have done. And now Fresh Jinx, who's he got over the back of him? Is that Floppy? Oh dear. No, it wasn't Floppy. Where's the... Oh, this is... No, Renville, no way. So Renville's currently running in second place, and he's just gone into the wall. So that's... and he spun it. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Be careful going through there, boys, as he ports to the pits. That was unlucky. So Renville's in the pits, Marek's in the pits, as is Evan IRL. Yeah, Tro's definitely out of this race. 8 laps currently sat in the pit. So Lely is just doing an absolutely sterling job in that Bentley at the moment. Doing exactly what she needs to do. Consistent. 203.9. Okay, so he qualified with a 202.8, I believe, but in free practice he was consistently sort of low to mid 203s. So again, he's showing good race pace as we come towards halfway, and Lely decides that now is the time, as we get a beautiful pan of the pit lane there, so we can pick him back up. There's a lot of P's going on. Yeah, Lely decides he's going to come in and get his first stop done. Renville, okay, we just saw Renville, so he's going to have damage, so he's going to be in the pits for quite a long time, isn't he? Marek's in, and Evans coming to get his second one done. Where's Michael? So he's only done one. What's Michael going to do now? So Wheeler Kevin, he's coming in to get his second pit stop done. Is Michael going to follow suit and have a longer run, or is he now going to go for a longer run? He's going for a longer run by the look of it, as he comes into Murray's, not Howard Corner. Alright Dale, have a good one, mate. A pleasure having you with us, buddy. I'll have a chat with you tomorrow, mate. So I think that was Hutch again. Hutch is my driver of the day so far, just from an etiquette point of view. You know, he's pounding around. He's never going to win this race. He's not even probably going to have a half decent finish, but he's using this whole session, I don't mean the race, the whole session, practice, qualifying and the race, to get used to that car and how she behaves and the new equipment without ruining anyone's night, which is... You can't say that happens everywhere, can you? So Michael starts the climb up the mountain. Let's have a look and see what she's like. Okay, flat through there. We're going to get a little lift, are we? Yep, tiny one, just to make sure we get the nose in. Nice through there. Who's that? Daz Parker. Daz is not having a good night in that Ferrari, is he? That's at least 3 times we've seen him have a 1 down, but again, he's still in the race, he's still going, he hasn't caused any major issues to anybody else, and it's got to be points as we come up towards the Big Dipper. It's all about the points. So that was nicely there, Michael, and then Forest Elbow, Conrod Straight. So these boys, they can't see the finish line just yet in terms of time, but well, they're over halfway, and I want to know when Michael, is he going to do it now? So not this lap either for Michael. So he's pushing now. I mean, I think he's probably quite happy with the balance of that Lambo, and he's thinking, well, if I'm putting in some decent laps, why ruin that? So, well, I mean, he's ahead of Lely, isn't he? So Michael's currently leading the race. Nathbit is second, and Lely is third. They've all only completed one stop. So this stint for Michael is working very well. I don't know what Lely's game plan is going to be. Excuse me there, just had a little bit of water. And Weedy Kevin is sitting quite pretty at the moment. He's only 12 seconds. He is only 12 seconds behind Lely. So when Lely has to come in and do his next pit stop, unless he can build a pretty sizable gap at the moment, Weedy Kevin, where's Floppy? So Floppy's further back. I don't know if Floppy would get Lely, but Lely is at risk of losing a spot through the pit stops to Weedy Kevin. We'll see how that transpires. Volton, look at him in his Lambo. He's having a great night, isn't he? He's currently running 6th. He has completed a stop, so he's got one left to go. But hey, enjoy it, mate. You are in the top 6. Evan is 7th in the number 2 Bentley. He's completed both stops. He's had some good paces, Evan. Actually, I think I think he'll be quietly happy with this race so far. Hutch is up to 8th. Now, I've been talking about Hutch all evening about how he's getting used to that car, and there's been some issues, and he's been he's been a gentleman in terms of letting people by and not trying to get into huge fights. But look at him, both pit stops complete, and he's running 8th. So, I mean, that's quite scary. Where would he be if he was on it 110% and wasn't letting people by? And no, get off it quick. He wasn't going to spin them at all, and no, see, still going, brilliant. So Jinx is in 9th in the other McLaren. I think that was Lely just going past him, and Cascanova's making up the top 10 in the number 26 Bentley. Quite like that livery Cascanova, but he's still got a stop to complete, which will drop him down at least a place or two. Marek is 11th in his Ferrari. He's going to be hoping, wow, see, I wonder if anything else has happened to Marek. Remember, he qualified 2nd and was running really well, was actually in 4th place until very recently. Then maybe he had an issue in the pit stop, or maybe there was some damage that needed to be fixed whilst he was in there that caused it to be a longer stop. We'll find out after the race. Big Time Dave, in his tribute to Gamer Dad, he's currently running 12th in his number 61 Audi. Being consistent, putting the laps in. 12th is not a bad place. And then Brisbane, who started last, he's obviously completed both of his stops. He has had an eventful race. There was at least one off at the top of the hill before the S's, which nearly, well, if you remember me saying Hutch had to have cat-like reflexes to get out the way of that one, but they all survived. And Will Freeman, who qualified 3rd, I believe, and was running 2nd, was running 3rd. He had an issue on lap 1, or certainly an off, and elected to pit early, which is fine, and then got the second one done as well. So he's running 14th with both stops complete. Probably not the best night for him at the moment. And then Renville in the Lexus, 2 stops to complete still, is running 15th. Was up in 2nd, was up in 5th, I believe, actually. And then we saw him have quite a big issue. In fact, we saw him have a huge issue at the top of the hill. So that's probably paid to his race for this evening. But mate, keep going. You've got 24 minutes to go. It's points, dude. That's all you got to think about. Points and lap time. I Am Slow's running 16th at the moment in 109 Bentley. Probably not the right amount of pace he wants to show this evening. Traction is 17th. Definitely coming together with those guys. And I think his teammate, well, not teammate, I think his close friend and driving partner, he's probably going to stick a lap on him shortly, which won't be fun. Dan Parker's 18th in the 238 Ferrari. He's still going. Again, that's all you need to do, mate, at the moment. You've had a very torrid evening in that Ferrari. Fortunately, I've caught quite a few times where you've been off. But you're 18th. You're not last. Keep going. And Jester in the Bentley is 19th. Tro in the pits. Obviously, he is not going to complete this race. So Renville comes in to complete his last stop and gets that done. Cascanova's also in the pits. Lely has come into the pits from 2nd place to get his last stop done. So this is where it's going to get interesting. So Michael is currently running up. He's on the climb up the hill, and Lenny's in the pits. We'll see where this shakes out. We the Kevin, remember I said he might lose a place to We the Kevin. He's in third at the moment. Where is he? So We the Kevin is just coming up towards the climb. Lenny's on his way out of the pit. So unless We the Kevin was a lap down, which he might have been then actually. We'll see. No, he's not. So I did predict that correctly. We the Kevin elevates to second place, having very, very smartly listened to my advice and done 2 stops really early. That Bentley, she's generally not massively harsh on the tyres. And Nathbit, he's gone above Lenny. So has Lenny had an issue there? But Nathbit has jumped him as well. So Nathbit's on the way up the hill. And Lenny's nearly 8 seconds behind. So We the Kevin and Nathbit find themselves on the podium now. Michael races as he comes down to the chase. Is he going to pit now, or is he going to keep eking it out? He's having a good spell at the moment, I would say. It's a good phase of the race for him, and he continues. Why not? Why not indeed? Right, it's close battles. We've got cars together, but we don't have any really close battles for position. Yvolton's still in 6th place, hasn't pitted yet in his Lambo. So again, he's just trying to get as many of those laps in as possible. Maybe he's going to pit round about the 20-minute mark, so he can actually split this stint down for him into 3 equal stints and just push and have confidence in those tyres. Obviously the fuel load will be burning off rapidly, so that should come back towards him in terms of overall pace, outright pace per lap. Evans in 7th, Hutch is still in 8th, Marek is in 9th at the moment, and Fresh Jinx in his 189 McLaren. You're not going to miss that white one, are you? He's currently in 10th, and then we've got big time Dave there. Or was that Nathbit? Yeah, okay. So Nathbit puts the move on. Floppy Fox has come back nicely. Floppy Fox is up to 5th. How far ahead of Lenny? Oh, Lenny's not too far ahead. So that one could be a nice battle that develops. There's 4 seconds between Lenny in 4th and Floppy Fox in 5th. That one could develop, I think, and that's pretty much the closest actual battle we have at the moment. Michael's got a 37-second lead on We the Kevin. He's going to need longer than that. But then he's obviously going to be hoping that We the Kevin's tyres are going to be an absolute bag of rubbish towards the end of this race. Will's gone into the pits. Why has Will gone into the pits? Will's completed both his stops, unless he's going to retire. We'll see in a moment. So we've just clocked under 2/3 of the race. We've got the final 20 minutes. So it's a 20-minute sprint now. Michael's going for another lap. Okay, so Nathbit has just gone onto the Conrod straight, and We the Kevin's just going into the chase, so we should keep an eye on that as well. Lenny's pulled that gap down. It's now 6.8 seconds to Nathbit, and Floppy Fox is holding station at 4.1 at the moment. Yvolton's still in 6th, still hasn't completed that last pit stop yet, so Evans hoping he's going to get himself in the top 6 this evening, which I'm sure he'll be quite happy with. So Will is still in the pits again. Hopefully he's not retiring, we shall see. No, Will's just coming out of the pits. You can see him there in that Ferrari, just exiting the pit lane. I wonder why you had to do that, Will. Let's get on board with him, see him chase down. Let's see him chase down Marek. Let's see a little bit of Ferrari battling together up and down the hill. that was a big moment for Marek then. Will, you know, I think a lot of people would have been like, oh, Marek's going to go off, let's go, let's punch it. And again, this shows why Will scores so many points. And he's always really competitive. He backed out. He completely backed out of that just to assess what was going on. Didn't put himself in any form of danger or a position which could have a negative impact on his race, and it wasn't for long. It was maybe a second or so, but that allowed him to read what was going on and then get back on it. So that was quite a moment. I think Marek's heart is probably going a little bit quicker now as we go up towards the chase. And there's two currently in front as well. So that's We the Kevin in front. Obviously not for position. Well, these two are definitely going to come together, aren't they? But sadly, it is not for position. So Michael is still out up top. So let's have a look at the map. Bottom right hand corner, we can see the red dot. That is obviously Michael that I'm on at the moment. We the Kevin. Okay, so We the Kevin is halfway down Mountain Straight. I want to see what the time is. It was almost 37 seconds. I want to see if that's changed, and if it has, by how much. Nathbit is 14 seconds further back in third place, and again that gap to Lely's coming down. That was 6.7, it's now 5.2, and you can see that the gap then towards Floppy Fox has increased from 4.1 to almost 6 seconds. And evidently Lely's pulled a bit of a gap there, but maybe Floppy's had an issue as well. And the time back to We the Kevin is 38.109, so that's grown by maybe a tenth and a half to 2/10, which is that going to get Michael the win? I really do think it's going to be down to tyres at the end of this race, as We the Kevin goes into the S's behind Daz Parker, and we know Daz is not having a pleasant evening in that Ferrari. So let's hope that we can have a safe pass. So a Fresh Jinx has pitted from 12th place. Traction still got a pit stop to make, which means Traction and Michael are the only two to complete both of their pit stops. Now where is Yvolton? So Yvolton, after doing his last stop, has come out in 9th, so top 10 position at the moment. That's really good going, mate, well done. We all want to know, when is King Michael going to come into the pits? Kev's thinking, come on. Because he should have enough time. He should have enough time to get ahead of him when he comes and does his pit stop. Right, Lenny's now only 4.5 seconds behind, so this one, he's got just under 15 minutes to keep chipping away, try and get himself on the podium. Remember, in terms of the driver championship for this tier, Lely is top, Michael is second, but I think the gap was only 7 points. This is a double points race, remember, so as things stand, if they were to finish like this, Michael would be massively pushing into the lead of this championship, and that gap to We the Kevin has grown from 38.1, it's now 38.8, so maybe Michael's got a couple more laps in him of maybe a second ahead, and that would certainly help. So Floppy's not going to be challenging Lely, he's 7 and a bit seconds behind. Lely's gap is now 4.477, so again that is beginning to fall. Hutch is doing a great job in that McLaren, well done buddy. Marek's managed to fight himself back up to 8th place, so from qualifying second, and who's that? Will Friedman's pulled over there, okay, to let him through. Again, fantastic driving, you know. We've had a little overhaul of the rules in the last couple of weeks, and they're not draconian. The rules are set in place to help everyone have a really great time, actually, and to be confident they can race and get involved with people, and it be clean and exciting. And if things go wrong, or if there's issues or something needs bringing to light that maybe we don't already focus on, that drivers can do that. and know that they've got a voice. So the new rules, but again, that shows you the type of driving we have here. Will knew that Marek was quicker than him and on a different lap, so he got out of the way. Didn't try and fight him, didn't think, well, I'm going to show you, actually, my pace is quicker than yours, because that's not race etiquette, that's not how it's done here. So well done, Will. So Marek, yeah, 8th place. Is he going to be over the moon? Probably not, because he qualified in 2nd, but 8th is not bad. 8th is not bad, 8th is good. I mean, if he's disappointed, Chris is going to be over the moon, you know, so there's two different ways of looking at that. And big time Dave, he's now in the top 10 in his Audi, so fair play to you, buddy. And he's driving very, very nicely at the moment. Brizzle is 11th in the Bentley. Cascanova is currently 12th in his Bentley, and then obviously we've been watching Will a little moment ago. He's in 13th. Renville in the Lexus is 14th currently, and then Fresh Jinx in his McLaren is 15th. I Am Slow 16th. In the Bentley, 3 laps down currently. Traction is 17th, not pitted yet, so I assume him and Michael have the same pit strat. They're probably going to go for a 10-minute splash and dash, maybe even less than that. Daz Parker's 18th, been really struggling with that Ferrari this evening, but you know what, he is still going, as I keep saying. He's looking to pick up some points again, and then he gets out of the way. It's brilliant driving. Daz, well done. Just at 19th, and Tro in the pits. Obviously Tro is not racing at the moment, but he hasn't left the server, which is correct. Well done, sir. 7 of you watching at the moment, good evening, pop a hello in. If you haven't already into the chat, say hi, ask any questions. Who are you supporting? If you haven't left a like, please do. It takes half a second. I'd be extremely grateful. So if we look back on the tracks again, Michael's now coming down Mountain Straight, and we the Kevs, yeah, okay, just coming through the chase down towards Murray's. I think he is eking that gap out a little bit. Lely's now only 3.4 seconds behind, so he's done the pass on Daz. Well, Daz has probably got out of the way, which, as a gentleman, he should and no doubt has done. So Nathbit now is going to start coming under pressure shortly. So that's gone down, what, maybe a second? And it's taken 5 minutes for that to come down by a second. So either the Nathbit's going to have to make a mistake, or his tyres are shot. And Lely's going to have to push like crazy. He could still get that podium place, but will he? That's the question. And it looks like Hirsch looks like he's getting himself in place. There he is, to potentially make a move for 7th place against Marek. So I think Hirsch has now got into the swing of this McLaren, which is great to see. So ladies and gents, we have just entered into the last 10 minutes of this 60-minute race here at Bathurst. It's been a great race so far, but as you would expect, there has been some spills going on the track. Some people haven't had the greatest of evenings, but we've only got one person so far who is not going to be able to complete the race. Everybody else, for good or bad, has managed to keep going or go and fix what needs fixing and are still running, so that's the important thing. That's what you want on a Sunday evening. Right, what's the gap? That gap is now doubled, so nothing's happening there. Michael is still running. He's 20 on his 24 laps completed. Traction, he decides that he is going to pit and get that second stop done. So the main battle at the moment is going to be between Lely and Nathbit. There's 2.8 seconds between them. When Michael pits, is he going to get out ahead of We the Kevin? That's the question on everybody's lips at the moment. We the Kevin comes through Murray's to start another lap, and Michael's already just gone through the cutting, so he's starting to climb up the mountain. I mean, it is a sizable gap, isn't it? If you look on the map, I'm on Michael at the moment. Let's go back. That is a sizable gap, but is that gap big enough to get in and out on the pit stop? I don't actually think it is. Don't think it is. We shall see as Michael goes into the S's yet again. Who's that in front of him? Is that Mr. Parker? No, it's not. That is a Bentley. It's not Lely Bentley. That might be Evan. Yeah, it's Evan IRL and Cascanova, I believe. Yeah, okay. Lely's now only 1.3 seconds behind Nafbit. Ooh, Nafbit, let's get on board with you. You can see there is Lely. So, okay, we've got 7.5 minutes left for Nafbit to defend like crazy to try and keep this podium. He'd love a podium. Who wouldn't love a podium at Bathurst or anywhere, to be honest with you, racing with these guys and the standards that it takes to race with these guys. It's currently in third place as we come into the S's. That just seems so sedate, doesn't it? As you can see, Lely's jumping all around behind him. And let's keep an eye on these guys. Close this right up there, Nafbit. There's no way he's going to hold him off for the next 7 minutes. I just can't see it happening. If he does, it would be a miracle, and he would 100% deserve that podium. I just don't think he's going to have enough pace and grip to keep that Bentley behind. Oh no, he doesn't. Ouch. Ouch, 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 Nafbit. Unlucky, mate, unlucky. So Nafbit loses it coming out of the chase. And, well, Lely didn't even have to make a move, did he? It was gifted to him there, so that's no doubt going to annoy him. It's probably got some damage as well. So, Michael's still running. He's just... you know he will have worked out, or I would suggest him and Dave have probably worked out what do you lose in a pit stop. I'd be wanting to know what am I going to lose in that pit stop in terms of pit lane entry, the actual stop, and pit lane exit. And he's probably looking at that thinking, have I got enough? I don't think you have. You've got 40 seconds, maybe. I don't think so. Anyway, so Wheeler Kevin still potentially can win this race. So he's sitting pretty in second place. Lely will be relieved to get back up onto the podium. He might chase him down. He's 13.7 seconds behind with 5 minutes to go. Unless he's got some kind of fast and furious crazy NOS system, which is illegal, but they've allowed in this one particular race. I can't see that happening as Michael ducks it in the pits now. Come on then. Here we go. So he takes a nice line through there. So first part of the pit entry, that is negotiated. So he's in the pit lane proper. Let's see what happens. So on the track, on the map, you can see down the Conrod Straight comes Wheeler Kevin. He knows how important this is now. This is for the lead of this race, and there's under 5 minutes left, so it will be... Oh, Michael's done he hasn't changed tyres. There's no way he's changed tyres there. So he splashed and dashed. So he's trundling down the pit lane. In comes Wheeler Kevin onto the start-finish straight, and Michael's just exiting the pits now. So he has managed to keep that lead. Great, that was a really good pit stop, mate. Well done, that was quick. Gamer Dad Studios 13. I'm not sure, but hello, welcome. And where the hell have you been, mate? I hope you're well, dude. I hope you're well. Yeah. You know you need to get back soon. I haven't heard you in so long telling people to send it. I haven't heard it, mate. You need to get back soon. Yeah, even if it's just once a week or something, you know. But we miss you, mate. I'm sure you'll be back soon. Good to have you watching. And if you haven't pressed like, you better press like. Number 2 has got a drive through. Oh, so Evans track limits. I don't know where he's done that. I mean, most of the track limits around here lead directly to a wall and an early bath, don't they? So that's all good. So Michael's managed to keep the lead of this race. Wheeler Kevin is now only 10.5 seconds behind. He's not catching that up, is he? Unless Michael throws it off. There's 3 minutes 21 seconds left. Nafbit is still in 4th place, even though I'm sure he's going to be driving with damage. So he's doing really well. The gap back to Floppy is 6 seconds. So let's keep an eye on it. You never know, that could drastically fall. It's got to fall 2 seconds a lap, drastically, potentially, to change places on it, but you never know. Evans in 6th, won't be in 6th for long though. He's got a drive through. Merrick's managed to bring himself up to 7th now, so yeah, that's a really good run, mate. I can't say that's a bad effort. It's really good. Hutch is in 8th. That's really solid from Hutch so far. And Chris in 9th. Well, he's just got to be happy, isn't he? He's running in 9th place, and he's not that far behind Hutch actually. They're on the same straight, so are they on the same lap? That's the question. It says they are. 5.5 seconds. Brizzle's in 10th place, so well done to you. He started from dead last. He's managed to work his way up the field, so you're currently in the top 10. Big Time Dave, as we Gamer Dad I was saying, you're good and Big Black's doing good. Gamer Dad, you'll see at the start of this, I was saying, Big Time Dave, without realising, is paying homage to you because of the lovely little bits of pink that's running through the livery on his Audi. Caskanova's in 12th at the moment, as you can see, not far behind. So there's a battle that we could have. We could have a last lap battle. That'd be pretty cool. No, we can't because Caskanova's. Right, let's get aboard. Let's get aboard. This is too close. Right, as we come down the hill through the S's, again, there's 8 directional changes on this little section of the track. So there's an awful lot to think about. There's an awful lot to balance. Without the added strain of having Cascanova and his Bentley all over the back of you, but that is successfully negotiated on the way down the Conrod Straight. Someone else is back in the pits again as he manages to pull. Wow. So I'm thinking the fact that he's just pulling that gap there, yeah, that's now gone to over a second. I'm pretty sure that Cascanova has set his Bentley up to be very, very good through the twisties, and really slow on the straights. So I think his aero is going to be very, very high. But hey, I mean, if it works, I mean, he is managing to have battles, and he still could get almost in the top 10. So, excuse me, we're into the last minute of this race. They will probably be coming to complete start their last laps, as Big Time Dave again is struggling through there, and you can see now how much Cascanova is now beginning to catch. So Michael started his last lap. It's been 60 minutes. I wouldn't say of mayhem, because it hasn't been mayhem. It's been awesome racing. Epic? I wouldn't say epic. I would say awesome. It's been very, very good. Good high standard. Daz does decide to put it in the pits eventually. I think that's probably the right choice, mate. You've had a good race. She's been giving you a lot of issues, so I think retiring her is probably a wise move, but well done to you certainly. So where is Big Time Dave's now pulled out a 1.8 second gap, so I don't think we're going to have any changes for position right now, and with that being the case, we're going to ride on board of Michael Races to complete this lap. He's not going to bin it. There's no commentator's curse, we know that, but let's enjoy the rest of this lap. I'm going to shut up for a minute so you can listen to the Lambo on the way down through the S's. She does sound pretty amazing. I mean, she sounds epic. Yeah, she does sound epic. I do love that noise. Drifter's in talking to Gamer Dad. Hello Drifter, hope you're well, mate. Good to see you in here, buddy. As Michael comes down the Conrod Straight for the last time, he's gonna chuck it right into the chase. Just get your braking point right here, buddy, and you're all good, mate, really. No dramas. Nice little turn in, little correction there. I think we're going to have to announce in a few seconds time a P1 again for Michael Races. Congratulations, Michael, well done to you, my friend. Excellent drive. Yeah, ooh, have your special moment on the steering wheel. Again, it's a good job. You guys can't see me on camera because I was doing something a bit stupid then, but Michael Races, well done. P1, the 60-minute special at Bathurst. Excellent drive, buddy. Yeah, donuts please, more donuts, come on, if you're going to do them. done properly. We the Kevin finishes in second place. Fantastic drive from you, mate. Unlucky there not to get the win, and Lely, you managed to recover that, dude, and you finished third. So there's your podium. Michael Races, We the Kevin, and Lely. Congratulations all. Nathbit, what a great drive from you. You finished in fourth place. Floppy Fox is going to be fifth. Let's just see him. So Floppy Fox is coming down to the chase. He's going to be fifth. Evan IRL, well, he's still coming around towards the S's, so I'm hoping they get through there alive. Marek, seventh place, qualified second. Had a ridiculous lap in qualifying, it completely shocked me, and has had a solid race actually. So seventh for you, well done, Marek. Hutch, eighth. Really tough race for you, Hutch, I think, in that McLaren, but you kept fighting her, and I think you guys began to jowl more towards the end and had a solid, good consistent run. So 8th for you, well done. Uvalton, great race for you in 9th, top 10 finish. I'm sure Dow's going to be more happier than you are about that one. And Brizzle, starting from the pit lane, you finished 10th. So that's a great effort. Maybe you will get Alien of the Week again. Cascanova in 11th, we saw some good battling from you, so excellent race, well done. Big time Dave also with his Gamer Dad homage there on the front of his Audi. Really involved in some good racing there, although I think these two are actually still racing for the flag, which they are, so we'll just stay on it. Renville's 13th, well done Renville. Pretty quiet race for you, but again, this track isn't for everybody. It's nice and steady. You got a 13th. I Am Slow 14th. Fresh Jinx 15th. Traction was 16th. Daz Parker didn't finish, was in the pits, had an awful time in that Ferrari, but actually kept it going for about 57 minutes. So that was a bit unlucky for him. Jester, I think, got involved in an issue, was 19th, and then Tro sat it out basically after a few laps. So yeah, unlucky. Big time Dave's giving me some donuts. So there you go, ladies and gents. That is your Pure Sim Gear GT3 Sunday. So we've got more donuts going on in front of me. Hopefully they're all watching and giving me some donuts. That was your 60-minute special. Double points, remember. So we will, next week, have a look at how that affects the standings. If you want to have a look yourself, please do. FormulaRacingLeague.co.uk. You can check all that out. And come and get involved. We are a friendly bunch with something for everyone. Just finally in the live chat before I go. Good. Okay. Well, Gamer Dad's having a good chat in there with the other guys. Right, I'm going to love you all and leave you. I will be back on Tuesday for tacos. Of course I will. The camera will be back as well because I'll have had some sleep. But it's been a pleasure. Epic racing, boys, as always. Well done, Michael. Well done, Kevin. Well done, Lenny. And there's nothing else really for me to say. So, comms by Coops, out.